What is going on, y'all? Psych Perspectives. GeoFucks here. And in this video, I want to keep harping on this. We are being priced out of life. And what I mean by that is, look around you. How, everything is so expensive, yet none of our wages and salaries reflect the cost of living, reflect inflation. Okay, a lot of us are still making the same money that would have been considered middle class 20 years ago. 20 to 22 years ago, $40,000 a year, you were middle class. So if this was August 2002, I would be middle class right now. But instead, this is August 2022, and I am low income. Okay? I am working class. Okay? So, I say all of this to say, there's always these articles about millennials and Gen Z destroying some type of industry because we're not, buying this and buying that, or we don't support this and support that. So, for example, you'll see an article, millennials destroying the housing market. Meanwhile, none of us are making 6+ figures. Let me not say none of us. Most of us are not making 6+ figures. So who's going to be buying a house on the wages that we've got? And if you really look at how things are set up, it's not the time to be making these types of purchases. The interest rates have gone up. Feds increased the rates a few months back. So you got to ask yourself, why would you be purchasing a house and in this day and age? And then that's if you even have the income to do it. Most people are not making quality income. You know what I mean? And that's kind of obvious when you start looking at the fact that your everyday person is living check to check. Literally everyday people are having to figure out how they're going to pay for things because they are not being paid suitable living. Right? So you got that going on. Then, when you look at situations where you're basically, for example, I would like to get my car fixed. I have a lot of issues with my car. If you all remember back in March of this year, I basically put $1,200 into my car. Needed new brakes, needed new rotors, had an electrical issue with the blinker. Had various issues. I was lucky, blessed, thankful, privileged to even be able to get that taken care of. Right? So that was a whole bill that I had to take care of. And that was in March. Well, by the time May rolled around, my radio completely died. Right? I bought aftermarket radio back in July of 2017, and it went out in May of 2000. Well, the first time it went out was in 2020, in December of 2020. The second time it went out, and this time when it went out in May of 2022, it went out completely. And then when the radio went out, for some reason, my driver's side door, all the electrical stuff, for just the door, you can't unlock or lock from this side. It only works sometimes. Like, for example, if you want to unlock it, it works, but if you want to lock it, it don't work. It'll allow me to do both of the back windows can go up and down, and the passenger window can go up and down, but if I'm trying to use my window, it won't go up and down. I can't even use my dang sunroof. That don't work either. Always having electrical issues with this car. This is not the first time this door has caused this issue. Back in 2020, I paid $750 to get the damn door fixed. And here I am again in 2022, back with the same problem. Need new tires. Need to get a radio in here. Got all kinds of stuff that I need to work on doing that I have to keep postponing because I barely get $1,000 every 2 weeks. I'm getting $1,193 every 2 weeks, And a new in-deck dash radio for the type of car that I have, similar to the one that I had, is $189. Keep in mind, gotta pay for installation if you're not gonna do it yourself, right? And doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but guess what? I just paid $455 for an air condition. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you have responsibilities, so you don't have the luxury of just being able to pull out money and put it aside to this and that, because bills come all the time. Today is August 15th. Guess what? August 15th. Phone bill, that's $143. I got little under a quarter a tank of gas left. I gotta put money into my car to fill my tank up so I can get back and forth to work. You know what I mean? Water bill due, that's $242. So you see what I'm saying? And then like gotta get groceries this week. You see what I'm saying? It's like we are barely making ends meet. We're living check to check, and then we're blamed for why we don't have stuff. I would love to get a new car. You know what I mean? I would love to. I'm driving a 13-year-old car, damn near half my age. I am 29, about to be 30. Right? Had this car for 13 and a half years. And the past 2 years, it has been nothing but maintenance issues and problems, and it's thousands and thousands of dollars every single year to get it fixed the past 2 years. And it's at the point now where it's like, okay, this is a waste of money. You could just be using that. The thousands of dollars that I would be putting in to get all of this stuff fixed could literally just go to a down payment on a new car that doesn't have all of these problems. And I would love to do that. However, where are you going to come up with this additional monthly payment? And then when you get a car, especially a newer car, and depending on the make and model, your insurance is going to potentially go up. So that's a whole nother bill that you have to start trying to come, you know what I mean? I don't have an extra $300, $400, $500 to throw at a car every month. I don't. So I'm forced to continue to drive this, basically a death machine on wheels. Right now, I got another sensory issue with the dang, always talking about check tire pressure. Meanwhile, you check it, ain't nothing really wrong with it but electrical issues. And I've been dealing with this stuff for, like I said, the past 2 years. So it's just things like that. Like, we're priced out of life. We can't afford to be consumers in this market. That's why it just cracks me up. Because to me, capitalism is imploding on itself. You cannot sit up here and constantly increase the price of living, but not increase the price of living, increase the cost of living, inflation, price gouging, but there's no discussion on us being paid more, ever. At my job, the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2022. It is August 15th, a year. It's been 6 weeks since the fiscal year ended, and there has not been a discussion on pay increase, cost of living increase, nothing. I've been here for 10 months, haven't got a raise. Yet, we can get all the accolades, about how amazing my outreach work is, and the promotion and the marketing, and improving our numbers, people coming to our classes and seeking our services. This is so great. You help this, you help that. Oh my God. Congratulations, thank you, blah, 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 blah. Here goes a $25 Visa gift card. Here goes some cookies and cupcakes. Again, like we're 5 and 6 years old. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but $25 gift card ain't paying nobody bills. Cupcakes ain't paying nobody bills. So again, we get treated like we're kids. We're not getting, what we need, which would literally be, first of all, we should be getting paid at least $60,000 or more at the bare minimum for the amount of work that we are doing. So it's just so many issues with this. But it's just stuff like that where I just kind of sit back and I'm just like, they mad at you because you're not buying cars. They mad at you because you can't get your car fixed. They're mad at us because we're not saving for retirement. Who can afford to save for retirement when you're already living check to check? I don't have an extra 3% of my income that can go into a 401k. You already don't pay us shit. That's an additional 3% that I'm losing when I'm already not making enough. So no one's saving for retirement on that little ass income. Okay, and then everything has gone up. Inflation currently is at 8.5%. Coming into July, it was at 9.2. It has gone down to 8.5, and it's still high as hell. Our wages do not reflect the cost of living, don't reflect inflation, don't reflect our education, our degrees, our certifications, don't reflect our years of experience. It's a slap in the face across the board. Again, you paying us like it's 2002. And again, according to HUD, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, in my area, 80% of the area median income, right, in my area, for one person making up to $40,150 or less for one person is considered low income. I am low income. So I just want to throw that out there because, like, I just don't get how they think we're going to be consumers, we're going to be starting families and saving for retirement and going on vacations and buying cars and buying houses. How is anyone going to afford that when you are purposely paying us poverty pay? Again, it isn't that millennials and Gen Z. It ain't that. It's that y'all have rigged the system against everybody. And in particular, the people that have been controlling the show the past 30, 40, 50 years have been baby boomers. So when you look at a lot of these disastrous ass policies, it's somebody that's in their 60s, 70s, 80s that have caused the damage. And it ain't somebody that was born in 92 that was making the decisions to screw everybody over. Like I said, the past 30, 40, 50 years. That's a baby boomer. And now they're basically knocking at death's door. And now they're sitting up, as usual, very narcissistic, self-centered. Well, when I was growing up, we had to walk 5 miles in the snow. And the shit be so exaggerated. And then what don't make sense is, and I'm going to keep saying this, yeah, racism is bad. But guess what? Racism is still bad. So all of this, well, back in the day, we had to deal. I would much rather deal with the Klan and be making a decent living, because I mean, when I look at my grandparents, like I said, don't you think it's kind of odd they were able to come from Jim Crow South and go and somehow amass money and wealth and property for themselves, but then here we are supposed to be so much ahead, so progressed, you got it so much easier, yet we ain't nowhere near where a lot of our grandparents were at our age. But yet somehow we got it so much easier. Again, I'm really tired of the gaslighting, because economically we have it worse. Okay, because like I said, it's odd how they were 30 and they were able to buy houses and have families, and then we're 30 and we're basically still treated like children and can't afford to do shit because you don't pay us anything. And then you lied to an entire generation of people about how important college education was, when that didn't do shit but put a lot of us in a bunch of unnecessary debt with a bunch of useless ass degrees. And I'm just gonna keep it real. Because if we're looking at it from a job standpoint, a lot of these degrees are useless. It is what it is. Because again, what's the point of having a master's degree if you're going to be making the same amount of money you can make at McDonald's? I'll wait. Riddle me that. What's the point of having a master's degree if you're going to be making the same amount of money that you can make at McDonald's? There's no point of you going. That was a waste of my time. And that's why now when I make my videos, I make sure to say, I don't recommend going to college for the vast majority of the people that want to go. I don't recommend it, because unless your parents or family members have money, are wealthy, you got a full ride scholarship, you got grants, you paying out of pocket, you going part-time, paying out of pocket, there's no point in going. Because again, a lot of these fields are not lucrative, they don't pay well, and you're the one stuck at the end of the day working somewhere that 9 times out of 10 has nothing to do with your actual degree. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it real. Now, granted, I've done the work, I've done outreach work. Like I said, I got over 9 years of experience doing that. But this has nothing to do with what I went to school for, what I wrote my thesis on, all of that stuff. Nothing. And I'm just, again, a lot of us are doing what we got to do because we don't have any other choice, and we got bills and responsibilities. A lot of us have to work 2 and 3 jobs, have all these side hustles, and it's ridiculous. You're already working 40 plus hours a week. Why the hell should you have to get a second and a third job? What is the point of having a full-time job in the first place if it's not going to compensate you well so you can take care of yourself? Again, more and more people are waking up and having these conversations because a lot of us are seeing things for what it is. And the out cold part is, you probably do like what you do. You probably do like doing what you do, serving the people that you serve. Because I know I like what I do. I like helping people. But at the end of the day, I could care less about this pay. This pay is pathetic. I mean, like I said, with inflation, cost of living, $1,000 every 2 weeks, or a little over $1,000 every 2 weeks, is essentially $500. Okay, $1,000 is $500 in 2022. Because again, by the time because case in point, like I said, I 143 today. $242 Friday for the damn water bill. So we damn near already at $400. And then I know I got a payment for my labs. I think that's like $136. So we over 400 now. Okay. And gotta get groceries. That's at least 150. So we well over 500. Gotta get gas. And again, it would be nice to get my car fixed, right? It would be nice to be able to buy tires or get a new radio, figure out, get this electrical shit taken care of. All of that would be nice. But who has extra income to do that when every time you turn around, you got a bill that is basically greeting your direct deposit before you get to get it, right? So, and then they wonder why everybody is angry and upset and frustrated and agitated. Why everybody is literally walking on pins and needles. Why everybody is literally at the edge. Because this is how they have designed it to be. And somebody made a post, and I couldn't agree with it. I couldn't agree with it any more than this, because it's the truth, in my opinion. Money does solve depression in some situations, because at the end of the day, when you're able to get your needs met, you don't tend to be as down and out. You don't tend to be as sad and depressed. You don't tend to be as frustrated when you can get what you need when you need it. Where when you're broke, you're living check to check, you're going to be rather pissed. And then it doesn't help when you sit around. This is why I be telling people to take a break from social media. Because you see people that's just, they living their best life, right? They going on trips, they going on vacations, they buying cars. You feel me? Or at least that's what it looks like from the outside in. Because we also know that people lie. It's social media. And a lot of people are buying things on credit. So they're not actually buying it. If, just to put it there. They're racking up a bunch of debt to look like they're doing something. We get it. But then there are actual people that just have disposable income, have those resources so they can go and do those things in real life. And for a lot of us, it's annoying, because you're sitting back trying to figure out, well, how come they're able to go and do this and do that, and yet you went to school, you work, you do this, you followed the rules. How come your life is so shitty? So I understand. I'm not going to say that money buys happiness, but it damn sure helps. Okay? I think we would be lying, especially, and again, you got to look at the big picture. We live in a capitalist society. So as long as we live in a capitalist society, cash is king. Okay? The more resources and assets you have, the better your life typically is going to be, as long as we live in a capitalist society. And I don't see us... Oh, I need to shave, because this is starting to come up here. Yeah, I need to shave. Anyways, I don't see us getting out of this anytime soon. And then we have all of these... Now, they did pass a bill through Senate, which is surprising. Passed a bipartisan bill to address inflation in the USA. And I will be doing... Excuse me, I apologize. I will be doing a live stream to discuss that. Hopefully tonight, do a live stream to discuss the inflation bill that was passed by bipartisanship. The Republicans, the Democrats, everybody reached across the aisle. But, what gets on my nerves is, just like now, they'll sit up and talk about, well, things are getting better, but yet we won't see the better until months later. So, that's what gets me. Like, they passed the inflation bill, but it's not like tomorrow, all of a sudden, we're not going to have inflation, right? It's going to take months, well, up into a year or two, before we actually get to a reasonable, you know what I mean? So a lot of us, you might as well buckle up your seatbelts, because you're in for a ride. And a lot of us are feeling it and been feeling it for quite some time. I know I've been feeling it. And the crazy thing is, if you look back at my videos, I've been talking about this shit for years. Because again, for a lot of us that are millennials and Gen Z, we've never had a quality economy for people on Main Street. We've never had the opportunity to land jobs that paid well. A lot of us, we've been stuck in this low wage, low salary shit our entire lives. I mean, literally, I went from $740 in 2009 with my first job to $1492 in 2022. And keep in mind, inflation is hell. We didn't have this type of inflation in 2008 with the Great Recession. So that's why I'm like, this is ridiculous. But we want to keep, trying to make it seem like everything is okay and it's not that bad. It's bad. All these people aren't just becoming homeless just to become homeless. If you notice, all of these major cities, everywhere you go throughout this country, you got more and more people unable to afford housing, afford rent. People are literally creating makeshift tent cities because there's nowhere for people to go. All of this van life. Why do you think everybody is trying to live in their car now? It isn't because we trying to all be YouTubers. No, it's because can't nobody afford rent. Because ain't nobody being paid enough to afford rent. Which brings me I'm gonna end this saying this. How you gonna require somebody to make 3 times the rent, yet jobs aren't required to pay 3 times the rent? Riddle me that.